Okay, so being from Germany yourself, how do you feel the Birmingham Frankfurt Christmas market compares to Christmas in Germany? Is it traditional?
It was the first time we went in 2009. There was a lot of German tradesmen there, but when we went again 2 years ago, it wasn't quite the same anymore, unfortunately. A lot of German people were not really the market holders, the stall holders. It was more different foreign people, and it was a shame because I would have liked to have spoken to some of the people in German, and a lot of the stalls were pretty much similar as well.
Right. And how often would you say you visited the market?
Only twice, really, because it's a bit of a problem to park there and everything, so we went twice.
Okay. And what cultural differences are there between a European Christmas and a British Christmas?
Well, a European Christmas is more centred about, I would say, a lot of the Advent time, where you prepare yourself for Christmas and you do a lot more things with family then, as well as Christmas itself. And obviously we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, which is Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. And then the 25th is the first Christmas day, and then Boxing Day is the second Christmas day. And then on the next 2 days, like, you would have your Christmas dinner on the 24th. Some people do it on the 24th. We never did. We did something simple because we would go to Christmas Mass, midnight Mass, and then we would go and have our proper Christmas dinner on the 25th, and then maybe visit people or the next day.
Okay. And would there be any changes or additions you'd want to put into the Christmas market in Birmingham?
Yes, it should be a bit more traditional, like it used to be, with a lot more of the hoods, so you can go and have a hot chocolate and buy things for the Christmas nativity sets, like a lot more of the carving hoods that they used to have, where you can buy little figurines and things. A bit of a mixture of things, not the same everywhere, like loads of sweet stalls and loads of the same foodie places, and there should be a bit more of a mixture of things, more traditional things, maybe like glühwein stand and a bit more of those traditional type things, and a bit more variety, really, like they have on the European Christmas markets.
Okay. And do you feel Christmas markets are competitive across the country?
In which way?
So obviously we have different Christmas markets in Lincoln, we have them in London, we have a little bit in Leicester. Would you say Birmingham is trying to compete with them, and would you say that's a good thing, or would you say it's a bad thing?
I think they're all different in their own way. I mean, Lincoln is totally different to Birmingham, and they all have different things about them. I went to the Woodside Animal Centre, the RSPCA, near where I live, and that was quite nice because it was centred around the animals and help, raise funds for the centre, and it was a different thing to going to the Lincoln Christmas market, which is more traditional German stalls there, as compared to Frankfurt, which is not quite what you would expect anymore. Yeah.
Okay, so personally, how often would you say you visited the Birmingham Christmas market?
Well, I visited the Birmingham market twice in my lifetime. One when I was about, I think it was when I was 8 or 9, and the other one when I was 15 or 16.
How would you say the market's changed between the years?
Well, it's based on the idea of a German Christmas market, and although it's trying to keep that element, it has sort of, in my opinion, when I visited it the second time, I did enjoy it still, but it lacked the sort of traditional Germany, essentially. basically there was no one there who was actually German, which was partially the disappointment. But also that they didn't know exactly the traditions in which actual Germans do.
And would you say yourself that I see a big difference between a European Christmas and a British Christmas?
I think hugely, because obviously each Christmas has a different tradition per se, because as you know from around the world, not all places it's winter. So I can definitely see the different traditions and the way people do things, and it's quite nice. I'd say though, especially if there is a particular theme, to sort of stick with it though.
Personally to you, would there be anything you'd want to change or add to the market?
Well, as I said, as I've been saying throughout this whole interview, is like, it's based on the idea of a German market, although no one there is German, so they don't really know how to do it, because a lot of people who were there who were German don't come and help out more because they're either moved away. So what I'd suggest is, if they were thinking to possibly do sort of like a multicultural one as well, because obviously when I first went, there was a lot of German people compared to when I last went, where there was a lot of Eastern European people instead. So what I think is try and bring over what they do for Christmas, their traditions, because when we went to a German Christmas market, it was basically they were selling German items, but they didn't, have the German speak German to you if you wanted to say a bit of the language or anything. But yeah, so basically I'd say multicultural, because instead of trying to impersonate someone else, bring your own stuff in, and it actually might end up being something a lot better.